Naveen, we are good to go. Thank you.
Good morning, one and all. Uh, this is Naveen from 3Q Sutantra and welcome you all for a great day. 3Q Sutantra and as well as um, a lot of collaboration is going to happen today. So today we're gonna start with a quick introduction. And first, before that, I would like to welcome you all for the international meet on industry and academic convergence, so creating the future together, which is jointly organizing by 3Q Sutantra and YouthUp Global in South Asia. Uh, just to give a brief introduction, what's happening today is we're going to have a launch of the India's first um, dedicated certification programs for the fresh graduates. This first, and the second one is we're going to have a collaboration with the global partners. We will also be having a panel discussion with the great leaders on you know the industry academia, what exactly the next we're gonna do after this program, right? So that is very much important. What next with us? So we'll be having a panel discussion to build a very great, the long-term partnership between academic and industry to foster the continuous development of innovation among the youths. That's going to be a panel discussion, and yeah, so I think. Uh, So, Mr. Shreyas, I think you have here, right?
Yes, yes. Thank you, Naveen.
Yeah.
I
So,
think that was
so
an
over to you, Shreyas. I think you can
good opening remarks
start your.
to start off. So, firstly, thank you, everyone. It's Saturday morning, 10:40 a.m. in India, and we have a lot of people joining in from India and different countries as well. And that's a good spirit to see that we all are here at 10:30 to begin with something very auspicious. So, I would like to firstly welcome all the dignitaries, our chief guest, special guest, and all our respected panelists and all our friends joining from every part of the nation and the world for this the live that is taking place on the international meet on industry academia convergence. So a hearty welcome to all of you. So it takes a pleasure for me to welcome all of you for this, meet which me and Naveen have been planning since a while. We'd like to keep this, a very free flow conversation platform for today, and we want to bring in ultimate synergies of what we are trying to bring in the, biggest collaboration of industry and academia together. We talk about the importance of 17 sustainable development goals and innovation. And I think ideally that's where we are trying to set it in par in terms of how we are going to, continue this forward. Because I'm very sure with this launch where YouthUp is going to collaborate with Riku Sutantra and our technology partner, Teenwiser, and our impact partner IWTRF, International Women Technology Research Forum. I'm sure we'll be able to benefit the student community in giving them, greater opportunities at the fresher level in terms of what is skill development and life skill development with proper peer mentoring. And in the forthcoming days, we are looking forward. This project is going to be a very massive way to take off. Today is just the launch, and here we are, all of you, to not to just have discussion on inputs, provide your valuable inputs, but at the same time, we are looking forward to all of you to collaborate with us at different capacities forward. And I'm very sure me and Naveen will be engaging with each one of you personally to see how we are going to take this forward. I think I'm absolutely right with that, Naveen. Hope you agree with me. And we should, bring this in a very collaborative and, very, kind of a holistic manner of taking this entire project forward. And I think we'll
Exactly.
be able to bring in a greater, dynamic change towards the society that is our, the youth and that's where here we are for the convergence, the future of the youth. So with this, I'd like to go ahead with requesting Naveen, to begin with the inauguration ceremony, where we have our chief guest, Dr. Indra Parik, and special guest, Ms. Gatoni Kungu, who has joined from Africa. So, Naveen, it's all over to you. Thank you.
Thanks, Shreyas. Um, so it's a very great honor to have a chief guest and a special guest uh, in this great event. And I think most of people who are partnered or who are collaborated with 3Q must be knowing our chief guest for the day is Dr. Indra Parik Madam. Right? And the special guest, thanks Shreyas for bringing Gatoni all over from Africa to India today.
Yes.
So first, I would like to give a brief introduction about Dr. Indra Parik Madam. I think Madam is very known person, very connected mentor for many of. Namaste, Madam.
नमस्ते.
So very humble, very very supportive. Uh, who have authorized many books. A lot many things are there to say about Indra Madam. So I'll just give a very brief, a quick crunch of Madam introduction. So Madam is a president of Antardisha, which is a direction within a program. So which is a private entity creating a space for individual collectivity and organization and institutional to have dialogue to discover themselves, to review their past, to reflect on the present, here and now, and renew themselves for the future. So Professor Parik is, the founder of the Flame University, which is from 2005 to 2015 from the Pune based. She's been involved in creating academic vision of holistic and liberal education and shaping a flame. She also have the conceptualized model of management development programs, which is anchored in threshold of life science, and workspace, life roles and identity. Her focus is most on the transforming and lifelong learning, development, and uh, the growth. She has been consultant and conducted diagnostic studies for organizations. She has designed and conducted leadership and institutional building programs in private sector, public sector, and multinational organization. Professor Parik is on several board of companies as an independent director, and she's the founder member of Sumeda Academy of Human Context. Madam has done her MA from University of Rochester, New York, USA, and a doctorate from Gujarat University. She was a faculty at IM Ahmedabad for more than 30 years and the dean from 2002 to 2005. She has taught at INSEAD, which is Fontainebleau, France, and Texas A&M University. Madam has been honored with several Lifetime Achieve Awards, both national and international, for her contribution on education, HR, and work with the women. She has written numerous number of articles and several books. And recently, Madam has joined Dalam Foundation, which is a non-profitable
गाड़ी
organization,
ना जो होगा.
mission-driven organization engaging into divine advancing and promoting creative and liberal education. It has helped individual and existing universities to set up school of liberal education and creative programs. And finally, the currently, Madam is engaged in development programs in terms of leadership model conceptualized on workspace, social space, and life space anchored in self-reflectivity and identity. So I think it's a, if I take, the continue, it takes another half an hour to give an introduction about Madam, which has a lot of your, achievements, what she has done. And it's a great honor, Madam, to have you here on this, the great day of 3K Sutatra and the YouthUp Global. And with of us. So I welcome you heartily for this great program. Thank you for accepting our invitation in a very busy schedule of yours and
Thank you,
be a part of
Naveen,
it.
for the generous compliments. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So yeah, I think it's a time to the launch, right? So it's a great honor again to launch India's first programs, which is dedicatedly for fresh graduates. So just to give a quick, the background before we go to a launch of this certification program. So I think, Madam, since you're closely working with a lot of universities and also corporates, so the ideology of this certification program is to give a dedicated platform for freshers. So if you see in the market in the present cases, so we have a lot of technical certification programs, which is technology based and which can be anybody can do those kind of certification in terms of a professional can do and freshers can do. But when it comes to actual workspace, it requires a lot of multi technical skills, not just only focusing on one technology. So that kind of environment we have to create among the youth. We have to give them a multi-skilled platform where they can get themselves as a specialized engineers and the professionals. So this is the ideology of giving them a space to bring themselves into very unique way, which helps a corporate as well as a institution and the individual to have a bonding together, and which makes the everybody job easy. So once the candidate gets skilled, so it will be easy for the corporate also to hire them in a very easy manner. So that is where we are bridging the skill gap between the campus and the corporate. And this professional certification, which is dedicated for all the fresh technical graduates, which helps them to have a very decent way of getting themselves into corporate easily without any much stress even for a corporate as well as for the campus. And this certification is morely focused on the first level with infra management services, whatever you call it as network engineering, desktop engineering, server engineering. So putting all together, so we have specialized, this certification, and I think we have 7 certification which is going to be launched today, which including from the professional to the expert level of the certification programs. And if you ask again, who can take this certification, it's only dedicated for the fresher graduates who are doing their engineering and the BTech, or who are the students from a technical background. So it is only dedicated for them. So no professional can come and seek this kind of a certification. So that this helps students to bring themselves as a, yes, I'm a dedicated and I'm a specialized person in so and so field. So that is the basic ideology of these certifications. So yeah, I think Shreyas, it's a time to launch. I
Sure.
request Madam to give official launch for this certificates, which going to be live from the day.
Madam, we request you to declare it open so we can
I
play the launch
declare
music.
the certification program open. God
Thank you.
bless.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the launch, ma'am. It's a very great pleasant for to have you at the launch of this program, and your blessing a lot means a lot for Triki Sutantra for this. So, Shresh, can we add yeah, yourself and uh, Tanuja ma'am here for yeah. So, and another the great milestone of today's program is to have the global partnership with Triki Swatantra and YouthUp Global South Asia, and also Triki Swatantra is getting partnered with the IWTRF, which is International Women Technical and Research Forum, which is leading by Ms. Tanuja Patigan. So I welcome Tanuja Madam also for this program. So the ideology again behind of this partnership is to have the outreach with South Asia to reach these opportunities to South Asian students, and also a globalized students platform, which is the Youth Up Global. So where we can extend our the support and the opportunity to be accessed across the globe. And coming to IWTRF, it's a dedicated platform again to support the women entrepreneurs, research, and the women technologists under the single umbrella. So that is leading by Miss, the Dr. Tanuja Patekar, uh, the supporting dedicated platform for um, you know uh, the women empowerment, and I think that is one of our SDG goals of um, UN, right? So that's the brief um, the concept for the day. I think Shreyas, I think you can take over on this.
Now I think we have been hearing for the the most important thing. So I'd request Dr. Indra Parikh Madam to present her her inaugural address for the day. Over to you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Shreyas. Thank you, Naveen. Both of you have worked very hard for it, and both of you are most enthusiastic people, young people I have known, and it is a great privilege to be associated with you.
Thank you so much.
Distinguished speakers of the day, distinguished panelists of the day, and all the audience across the world, welcome to this inauguration and this event organized by two very dedicated people who have put in a lot of effort to design this. Not only this, but series of programs. This is one step going beyond what existed. For example, so far, most people have talked about industry academia interface. Now, this has moved to industry academia convergence. This becomes very important because the way the young people will be prepared will depend upon how the industry is moving, in which direction, which new technology, which new sectors, and which new opportunities are emerging in the environment, in the economic environment, in the industry. And therefore, lots of new products are emerging, lots of new products are necessary for the inventions and innovations which are occurring. And unless the academia understands what the industry is doing, they cannot design courses and subjects to teach the students. The students sometimes are well more equipped in terms of information of what is happening, and therefore they find the courses which are being offered are not necessarily very interesting to them because they know it's not going to help them in the industry. So both the industry, academia, and the student convergence is very important, so that when the industry is ready, the students are ready, and the academia is ready for the kind of courses and curriculum which they need to be designed. Now, so far, the academia has gone on to design knowledge-based inputs, uh, gradually becoming more complex as they move from lower levels of classes to higher levels of classes. But to be realistically align themselves to what the industry wants, they need to have a conversation. They need to have a dialogue. They need to have a debate. And academia needs to do research of what kind of curriculum is necessary for the young students to enter the industry. So far, all the curriculum is based on knowledge based inputs and specific skill based inputs. But there is a whole lot which is behind, which is in the attitudes and also the ways, the pedagogy, the curriculum, the ways of learning. Now, because of the technology advancement, the students are more familiar and more equipped to manage the technology. And if we just give them the theory and the concepts, they seem to lose interest. Therefore, we need to design pedagogy which is interactive with the technology, which the students can learn and which is also relevant in the industry as of now. Now, with the new education policy in India, and once it starts to get implemented, there will be a whole universal shift in the pedagogy of teaching, designing of curriculum, designing of courses, designing of subjects, designing of grading system, admissions, etc. And unless the instructors and the faculty are prepared to transform themselves and be prepared for the new directions which are required, it is going to go very, very slow. And it is going to impact not only the industry but also the academia, because the students will lose interest if they are not prepared for the industry when they enter, and industry will be disappointed when the employees enter the organization and are unable to understand the language of required on the jobs, because the language is also going to change. Um, Over the years, I have seen that management language has changed from the 60s to the 70s to the 80s to the 90s. Similarly, leadership roles and leadership role models have changed from 60s to now in last 40 to 4 to 5 decades, because the industry has grown, the environment has transformed, global issues have emerged and impact each other's countries, and therefore it is very important to look at faculty and how they are teaching and what they are teaching. This is where I see the maximum convergence between in academia and industry. If the industry can support research in terms of faculty assessment, whether the faculty needs knowledge, whether the faculty needs skills, or whether the faculty needs larger transformative perspective to be able to be open to shift the gears to interact with the students, then only it will help the convergence very well, and it will suit the purpose of convergence. Otherwise, the faculty will go are very comfortable in teaching what they are teaching, and maybe very find it very difficult to transform into new ways of pedagogy and new ways of teaching, because they will have to transform, they will have to learn. And for this, academia and industry convergence is very important. If the industry can support academia to do research of the large millions of faculty, where they are, whether they are prepared, whether they are open, whether they are open to transformation, then learning levels can be designed in different ways for people who find it difficult to transform and be faculty who is open to transformation. This kind of research and assessment of faculty becomes very important. And if we do that, the chances are the teachers will be prepared, the students will be happier, and industry will get these students or the employees they need who can start working on day one. If the employees don't cannot work, and the industry has to put in a lot of effort to unlearn their what they have learned and then teach them how to do what they want to do, it takes away a lot of their time and effort, which is unnecessary. It can be done way before they enter the work. And therefore, this certification programs with this group is launching becomes very important transition point and a bridge from where the students can easily cross over to the industry as employees and not as students who have to unlearn and relearn. So the conference theme, or the theme which has been designed for today, I think is most apt and very, very important and very necessary to do it. I have seen Naveen and Shreyas grapple with what is important in the environment, what is important for the students, what is important for the industry, and how do we make the transition a little bit more easier, a little bit more faster, and a little bit more comfortable for the students and the industry. They have really grown over the years from going from very simplistic assumptions to coming to a very complex assumptions where technology and various dimensions are included to design these courses, and I wish them all the success. I would also suggest that the global convergence is also very important. But what is happening across the world and what is happening in India need to be have a space for dialogue. Otherwise, each one does it in isolation, and each one does quite well. But understanding from each other and learning from each other is a major step of discovering new concepts, new theories, new curriculum, and new pedagogy. So it's a very good initiative the two of them have taken to get the world together, to get the universe together, and people across the world, and especially where it is important that we need to have collaborate, we need to cooperate, and we need to learn from each other. Learning is lifelong, and therefore across the world becomes very necessary these days. I was just doing a course with Anant National University, and there were several students from Nigeria, Africa, and also from Pakistan and other places. And it was such a rich participation and discussion because multicultures came to the forefront and a lot of understanding emerged from each other in terms of finding out the similarities and the differences and preparing a pathway for cooperation and collaboration. So once again, I thank Naveen and Shreyas. God bless you both. I know you do a lot of hard work. And this is the most critical event which you've organized and very necessary around this time with the vast transformations in technology. And the way I sense technology moving, you will have to run to be at the same space to design courses. So God bless you all. And if you need any help, I'm there. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
I think it's a time to introduce our special guest. I think Shreyas, you're the right person to introduce the special guest who are from uh, uh, all over from Africa, and I can see the African culture today. So welcome, Katoni, for the event. So Shreyas, please take our.
Yes, thank you, Naveen. Yes, of course, YouthUp brings in the diversity, and that's where we are going to discuss about the panel of diversity and inclusion. So I'm glad that Asia and Africa is having a greater opportunity to present in today's international meet of industry and academia convergence. So welcome to India virtually, Katoni. So we have already had a lot of meetings, but thank you for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest for today, Ms. Gatoni Kungu, the Advocacy Specialist of UNICEF Kenya and the Head of Training and Development and East Africa Regional Director of YouthUp Global. Welcome to the international meet, Gatoni. So, just to very quickly go with a round of introduction for Gatoni. So, as we know, Gatoni is she comes from the background of media, so she flourishes with the industry and has achieved a lot in her career as a media practitioner. She has 6 years' experience as the director at the Kenya Film Classification Board and is a certified audition counselor and health and wellness coach. She is the advocacy specialist at UNICEF Kenya, which I have mentioned, and also the Director of Training, and she holds the East Africa Regional Director position in the board of YouthUp Global, one of the leading think tanks of Asia and Africa. Tech Times Africa nominee of the content creators from Africa. She's an author having published two titles, A Dance of Life and Your Body Starting Now. She holds a Bachelor of Arts degree in communication from Daystar University in Nairobi, Kenya. And Gathoni has worked on multiple local and international productions with roles ranging from assistant producer, producer, and guest producer. In her service as the director of the Kenya Film Classification Board, she has also contributed towards the policy development and implementation. And she offers professional contribution for best regulation of audiovisual content and provides senior level support to the senior management on various technical matters, which is pertaining enforcement. In her advocacy, she manages to take the six children issues and put them in both the political leadership manifestos. She is now working with UNICEF to transform the manifesto promises to programs and projects for children. As we know, UNICEF is being doing great work across the world. We are glad to have you as one of the international members joining in from Kenya, because there's great work going on for the development of youth advocacy, and that creates the greatest landmark for you being present in today's event with Dr. Indra Parik and Mr. Naveen, and also all other dignitaries. So Katoni works as provided with her extensive exposure and experience that has equipped her with a broad global mindset. So, joining from media to coming to becoming head of training and development, we look forward to your expertise and valuable, inputs to be added for our certified training programs. I'm sure Naveen will have to start considering to have meetings in terms of how we can take it forward. I remember we used to have meetings with Dr. Faith Namobia and Professor Boozy, the economic advisor of the World Economic Forum, one of the senior faculty from Tekedia Institute. I'm very sure Africa has a great, rich heritage in terms of student exchange, and also will help us in providing a great understanding of the education system to take these courses forward in the forthcoming days with your support. So, with no further delays, I would like to request, Gatoni to present a grill address as the special guest for today's event. Over to you, Gatoni.
Can't hear.
Gatin, I think you're right.
Can you hear me now?
We'll just,
Yes,
yeah, we
yes.
can hear you. Yes.
Okay, fine. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here this very early, cold morning from Nairobi, Kenya. Mr. Shreyas, Mr. Naveen, Madam Indira, it's such an honor. I love India, so of course I knew Madam Indira would come in her regalia. So I wanted to also celebrate Kenya. This is Maasai regalia, but if you talk about East Africa, everyone recognizes the Maasai, so that's why I've come dressed like this. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here, and I am looking forward to engaging more and hearing more from you. And I'm ready to do my presentation on behalf of YouthUp Global. Thank you. Right. So we are here this morning to discuss about the International Meet on Industry Academia Convergence and creating the future together. Next slide, please. Our agenda, we're going to discuss 5 specific issues that I'm going to present on: youth advocacy and skill training programs importance, the digital programs importance for university students, especially now with the unlearning and the relearning, greater significance of industry now, our East African portfolio and women empowerment, and finally youth empowerment projects, both from the Asian and the East African side. Next slide, please. Our vision at YouthUp Global is to become the largest social impact-driven platform for youths and organizations globally. Next slide. And our mission is to connect youths and organizations for easy access to and exchange of opportunities globally. Next slide, please. Youth advocacy skills and programs are important. I wanted to highlight a few issues why. With the rapid pace of technological advancements and changes in the job market, it is important for young people to acquire the skills and knowledge necessary to succeed in the workforce. Youth advocacy and skill training programs can help bridge the gap between education and employment by providing and empowering young people with the tools they need to find meaningful work and build successful careers after they have graduated. Secondly, youth advocacy programs are essential for empowering young people to become active and engaged members of their communities by providing opportunities for young people to participate in civic and social activities. These programs help develop leadership skills, build self-confidence, and foster a sense of responsibility and commitment to the greater good. Next slide, please. Third, youth advocacy programs can help address important social issues such as inequality, poverty, and environmental degradation by educating young people about these issues and empowering them to take action. These programs can help create positive changes in the communities and beyond. And finally, overall, youth advocacy and skill training programs are important in 2023 and beyond because they help prepare young people for the challenge and opportunities of the future, empowering them to become active and engaged citizens of their countries and the world. Next slide, please. So digital programs and their importance today and in 2023 moving forward, especially with what happened with COVID, digital programs are very important. So firstly, skills development. Digital programs provide students with the opportunity to develop skills in various areas such as coding, data analysis, web development, and more. Secondly, industry relevant knowledge. Digital programs are often designed in collaboration with industry experts and professionals, ensuring that students receive up-to-date and relevant knowledge about the industry. This can help them better understand the industry landscape and prepare them for the job market. Thirdly, networking opportunities. Just like today, we're coming from across the globe. So digital programs are often provide students with the opportunity to network with industry professionals and experts. This can be a valuable resource for students who are looking for internship or job opportunities in the future. Next slide, please. Flexibility. Digital programs are often designed to be flexible, allowing students to learn at their own pace and on their own schedule. In terms of skills that freshers in the industry should have today, or rather it is recommended, one is coding. The knowledge of program languages such as Python, Java, and JavaScript is highly valued in the IT industry. Data analysis is the second one. The ability to analyze and interpret data is becoming increasingly important in many industries, including IT. Third is cybersecurity. With the rise of cyber threats, knowledge of cybersecurity practices and tools is essential for anyone working in the IT industry. Next slide, please. Today, we are here to celebrate with Mr. Shears and Mr. Naveen the launch of these programs today through YouthUp Asia and 3D, what they are doing in India in the technical field. The programs are as follows, and I'm sure they're also going to talk much more about them today. The Certified Network Professional, the Certified NOC Engineer, the Certified Data Center Specialist, the Certified Network Security Specialist, the Certified Network Expert, the Certified Server and Cloud Specialist, and the Certified End User Support Engineer. Excellent work, gentlemen. Next slide, please. The IT industry and academia have the potential to work together to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals, which we know as the SDGs, through collaborations that benefit both parties. Here are some ways to foster greater significance in their relationships. The first one can be to establish industry-academia partnerships. One way to foster collaborations between the IT industry and academia is to establish partnerships, which we're doing right now as we launch this particular project. Universities can as well partner with IT companies to provide research opportunities, internships, and job placement opportunities for students. In turn, the IT companies can benefit from the fresh talent and new ideas that students bring to the table. Secondly, collaborate on research and development. Another way to foster greater significance in the industry-academia relationship is by collaborating on research and development projects. IT companies can provide funding and resources for academic researchers to work on projects that align with their business needs, while universities can provide the necessary expertise and facilities to conduct research. Next slide, please. Thirdly, focus on SDGs. One way to align industry-academia collaborations with SDGs is also to focus on positive impact, such as sustainable energy, healthcare, education, and climate change. Collaborations that focus on these are areas that can have significant impact on achieving the SDGs. To foster a culture of innovation, academia and IT companies need to encourage creativity and experimentation. This can be done through hackathons, innovation labs, and other programs that promote collaborations between students and industry professionals. And finally, to share knowledge and expertise, collaboration between academia and IT companies can benefit both parties by sharing knowledge and expertise. Next slide, please. Who is YouthUp? So I am here representing YouthUp. I just want to give you a small brief of who we are. We are a fast-growing social enterprise on the extrapolation and utilization of human capital deeply embedded in the world youth population towards the creation of competitive business connected under a universal umbrella. As a youth-focused enterprise, we have designed our operations to be attractive to different classes of youth across the world. This is why we serve mainly as an aggregator for educators, consumers, business, NGOs, artisans, etc. We understand the impact of technology. That is why we have built a formidable asset, sorry about that, under Web 2.0, but with our plans to incorporate technologies such as blockchain and artificial intelligence, we have positioned ourselves for Web 3.0 success, connecting youth, businesses, and organizations around the globe and earning some tokens as they find success through us. Next slide, please. I wanted to share some programs that we have right now. Aspiring Social Innovators Acceleration Program, which is basically developing countries facing myriad of social issues that affect young people, children, and women. We are working with young aspiring social entrepreneurs to launch impact-driven ventures who are prioritizing social impact over profiteering. Program 2, Apprenticeship Incubation and Vocational Training Program. This program is created to support interested young people in developing countries, especially in underserved communities of Africa, to consider choosing vocational and technical professions as alternatives to white-collar jobs as part of our Innovate Africa agenda. Next slide, please. Program 3 for Social Good is a program that is anchored on the SDG 17, Partnership for the Goals of the United Nations, whereby as a social impact focused organization, we are working with youth-friendly organizations, NGOs, and social enterprises to achieve mutual beneficial mandate through collaborative projects touching on all the sustainable development goals towards creating social impact opportunities for youth in developing countries. We have a program called YouthUp, which is a tech for good and tech for SDGs, EdTech for everyone, anywhere, anytime, raising talents for global workforce change and future work. Although we are a non-profit company, we prioritize social benefits over profit, placing emphasis on global impact, change, diverse equity and inclusion, social and economic growth and empowerment. Next slide, please. So for East Africa, one of our projects that adds value will be done each month in regards to the issue of a particular month. The projects will be concentrated and based on either a social issue, either unemployment, career development among students, mentorship programs, drug and drug abuse, among others. So these are particular projects that we're working on monthly that we want to mentor and train young youths and young people, especially in our country like Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, East Africa specifically. There are a lot of youth that are not concentrating on getting jobs, not necessarily even white-collar jobs. They're getting involved in other things. So we want to mentor. That's why we got this particular project that we wanted to concentrate on. And then we also intend to have one physical project at least each quarter So by the end of April, by the end of August, by the end of November, and end of February, consequently, we will leverage on the present links, connections, and resources each of the volunteers has to have this roll out. Next slide, please. The new target countries or regions, specifically in Asia, of what we're branching out into as YouthUp Global. In South Asia, we are concentrating on Nepal, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and in Southeast Asia, Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, Philippines, Indonesia, Cambodia, and Vietnam. Next slide, please. Our new target countries and regions in East Africa is Tanzania, Ethiopia, Rwanda, and Burundi. So if you know anyone that is based in any of these places, we're basically looking for heads of countries or basically country representatives who can come and roll out this particular YouthUp vision that we have. Next slide, please. And finally, thank you very much. It has been a pleasure and an honor. Shreyas, the floor is back to you. I hope I did justice, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Gatoni. That was a very elaborate presentation about YouthUp and the work you have been carrying on. In fact, to say we have Dr. Indra ma'am as well. We have been doing a lot of work at YouthUp Global. And this is where we are trying to, Gatoni has been working as my colleague regional director from East Africa. And in the forthcoming days, I was just having a conversation a couple of days back how this particular project can be taken into East Africa. And when we need to understand, we need to study the dynamics to set up a great R&D team. So I'm sure, it will be a tripartite partnership positively, Naveen, with 3Q as well,
Yes.
because 3Q will be stepping into the international corridors right now. And we always believe in small steps. Maybe here we are trying to impact a small aspect, but I'm very sure, as you all must have gone through the document, we are also trying to promote towards the economic growth and development. So this is not particularly towards a specific country, but for two nations together. And I think that will be a dynamic change to create. And this will also fulfill the SDG 17 Partnership for Goals criteria. And I'm sure this is the real SDG, implementation that we're trying to look through this event. And the lens of it is going to be very bright in the forthcoming days. I'm pretty sure about that. So with this, thank you, Gatoni, and you're having an amazing, the tradition of, Kenya, what you have come up with. We're glad that you could come up, especially in the winters when you have told me it's quite cold over there. So thank you
Yes.
for that.
Thank you. Thank you. It's an
Thank
honor.
you. And thank you, Dr. Indra ma'am. Thank you for joining and witnessing this international collaboration. Indra ma'am has been supporting us in a series of events since the beginning, and we want to continue this positive development forward under your guidance in the next coming days also. And as I said, always I keep on saying this is not the end. We have a beginning to start off, and we are in the footsteps of bringing in a right change right now. So thank you.
God bless you both. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Gatoni.
Both of you.
Thank you.
So with this, we shall conclude with the inaugural ceremony for today, and we shall be moving on to the panel discussion very shortly. But before to the panel discussion, we shall break in a little bit. So maybe we can, since we're in online mode, we can have a cup of coffee, tea, or something. And would request the guests also to stay back if you would have some time to witness the panel discussion. We would be glad to see you over here as well. And we shall have some portfolios of the organizations and partners for today to know a little bit about it. So thank you so much. With this, we shall break in a little for the international meet. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you, Gatoni. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
morning everyone. My name is Shauram Sheikh, studying in 6th SEM EC Department, KNSIT, Bangalore. I had joined Naveen Gurukula when it had just started. In Naveen Gurukula, we are directly exposed to the industrial experts who clear all our doubts, and they encourage us in developing the technical skills in a sophisticated manner. In Naveen Gurukula, we are having many mentors. Each one of us has a mentor, and all the mentors are from a well-reputed companies such as Dell, L&T, etc. Naveen Gurukula always tries to keep us busy with the tasks. These tasks help us to face the corporate world in future, and it also reduces the stage fear and it boosts our esteem. All the mentors present in Gurukula are very friendly and they are very supportive. I am extremely glad to be a part of Naveen Gurukula because I am getting improved day by day, not just technically but also it is making me a good human being because Naveen Gurukula believes in Gurukula style of teaching. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Prithvi and I am a student of Naveen Gurukula. The title have a lot of meaning to say. Na means I, win means get a victory. Through a Gurukula, it's a platform having a well-known personalities like gurus, and they will help us to get a good knowledge and stand beside us in all our success and failures. In our success time, they will appreciate and encourage and push up to the next level to get our destiny, and also our failure times they motivate us and help us to get rid of that failures, and if you made a small mistake also they will correct it and get to know the right thing. And I shared a few words. Initially, I didn't have a good accent of speaking in English, and I learned day by day by seeing Gurukula members and gurus, and I improve myself. And I learn a lot, to be unique in our ideas and think in a positive way, and be patient so things will come to us. And I give it some time to learn some inventions, and I get a good knowledge from that also. And apart from my learning outcome, I learn from others learning outcome. And I say very big thanks to Naveen sir to give this opportunity. And I conclude that what we know is a drop, and what we didn't know is a ocean. And once again, thank you, sir.
So we are here from short break, and then now we proceed next towards the panel discussion for today. The special panel discussion on building long-term partnerships between academia and industry to foster continuous development of innovation among youth. So before we begin the panel discussion in the next couple of minutes, right now, in 1 or 2 minutes, I would like to request to introduce. I would like to introduce a moderator for the day. That is my partner for today, who was put up in organizing this event, Mr. Naveen Chanda. So Naveen, I think you deserve a small introduction before we begin with important things, because there's a lot of crystallization to add in terms of conceptualizing this important panel, where after the inauguration ceremony we're trying to add in a greater way of going about. So Naveen is a global awardee as an innovative educator from the Global Trump Foundation and the founder of an Indian IT company, 3Q Sutantra LLP, having one of the headquarters at IT City, Bengaluru, and currently is also serving as an assistant manager at one of the top global IT companies. So he's also served as the South Asia Regional Director for Education at YouthUp Global. I think back to a year when we were working in the board together, and it was a great way of the partnerships we tried to enhance at that point of time. And he carries this expertise of 8 years in information technology and higher education sector, team management, skilling, reskilling, upskilling, and brand building strategies, especially towards IT projects, and also FTP workshops, the focus development programs, which is being taken forward in different universities and with various faculties at various academia institutions. He has also delivered many technical and non-technical sessions across Karnataka for the last 6 years. Under his guidance and mentoring, many students have found their first job successfully. He also has conducted for many FTP and SDP programs as well, and is being passionately supporting the academic team and programs to meet the industry standards. And I think through this program, where we have been witnessing a lot of testimonials of students from Naveen Gurukula, that is 3Q Sutantra, to being here, is where we are trying to look forward in the forthcoming years. Also, we have better testimonials and experiences, visuals of this project also to being witnessed, and I'm very sure we'll be achieving this in due time. From his initiative, he has also founded 3Q Samarthya, 3Q Techaton, 3Q SIC, the Skill Incubation Center. And you can surely find about it on 3Q Sutantra website on the work he has been doing. And also there's been an article published on his entrepreneurial life in different, leading online newspapers. Back to 2021 also, there's an article that is published on the Indian International Business Journal Global Business Line. So, Naveen, over to you for the panel discussion for today. In fact, I'm going to be one of the panelists. So, I take this honor of welcoming you, and we shall, have this exchange going forward by inviting our other panelists also, and to begin with the discussion.
Thanks, Shreyas, for the quick introduction. Yeah. So I think you can add all the panelists so that we can start.
So you can introduce, and then we shall have, welcoming each and everyone onto the screen. So I think we can
Okay.
start with
Okay.
the way.
So, yep, yep. So, the panel discussion is all about uh, building a long-term relationship uh, between academic and industrial, and how we can take up the things forward. So, as we all know that there is a huge skill gap between a corporate and uh, campus, which has to be addressed. And yes, we have seen many such programs which is already being working together to bridge the skill gap. But unfortunately, we need lot many other stuff with innovative ways to bridge the skill gap in much more better way. So that is the main theme of having the panel discussion over here. And today, yes, we have a panelist from uh, with a great experience from industry, from academic, from entrepreneurs background. So I take this opportunity to moderate this panel discussion. So I welcome the the panelists over here from Mr. Binoy Matthew. So I think a few of people who have associated with the 3Q must be knowing who is Binoy sir. So he's one of a mentor with the 3Q Sutantra, so who is giving a lot of information, inputs to 3Q Sutantra to how to give a more um, dedicated platform with innovative way to the students. So just to give a brief introduction about Dr. Binoy Matthew is associate professor in the Department of Management Studies in Visvesvaraya Technological University, and he also um, served as a director for centralized placement cell for the entire university, uh, Visvesvaraya Technological University, the government of Karnataka, Belagavi. And he was taking care of the placement and career guidance of the students of the VTU PG Center and affiliated uh, engineering colleges of the VTU in the state of Karnataka, and he has extended the helping hands to thousands of students to find them their dream job, and he also have a huge industry experience. So 20 years of postgraduate teaching experience and 20 years of research experience. He was also an employee trainer of HCL Management Academic and Bosch India Private Limited. So and also he has authorized a couple of books, and also several research articles has been published in both national and international journals. And his educational achievements are like he has done his MCom Finance, MBA, HRM, LLB, PGDCA, DPCC, PTI, and PhD, and he is also a Six Sigma Yellow Belt holder. In addition to all this, so he has done certified examination on gender justice and workspace security, corporate social responsibilities, commodity derivatives and risk management, and culture, um, intellectual property rights, and competition law certification from IIT Kharagpur. So he is certified counselor and also a psychometric analyst. He has serving as editorial board of International Journal and member of steering committee of International Conference, recognized by reputed organizations, societies. So this is a basic introduction of Dr. Binoy. I think uh, Shreyas, if Binoy sir is
I
available, you
think
can
Dr. Binoy is
add
having
him.
some network issues to connect. Maybe we'll have to recheck on that, Naveen. Please do
Okay,
have a conversation with him. Yeah,
sure,
yeah.
sure, sure.
Maybe you can bring in
So
the other panelists meanwhile. Yeah, please go ahead.
correct, correct. Yeah. So and also we have the another panelist, the very young age entrepreneur. I think it's a dreampreneur, the new term. Um, it's again the great honor to have have you here, Hasana. So more than me, I think you should give your introduction, because that's it's kind of a new thing what we have here, right? So again, just uh, give a basic info about Hasana. Is a young girl who started her entrepreneurship career at the age of 9, and I think you are 15 now. And if I'm not wrong, I think you have a very great and passionate team of teenage uh, candidates, right? So who are who are like, it's uh, in terms of age, it's just a number, but I think you guys are doing a very great thing. So Hasna, welcome to the panel discussion. And the third panelist. So before I go to a third panelist, I want Hasna to speak something about her and her life journey.
Oh, okay, sure. So I just started this journey at of age of 9. So since like as I told in everyone's in my thing, so when I was traveling with my father at the age of 9, then I saw the students like when we were going for a restaurant, I and my father ate, and when we were coming back, I saw some students who were selling pens instead of going to study. So I just got shocked, and I'm always straightforward, so I just went there and I just bought a pen. I just bought some bunch of pens, and I was asking the boy, and there was like a boy and a girl. They were siblings actually. So when I just asked them, and they just told like, here's a pen, you can have it for 5 rupees. And I just told okay. Then after that, I just asked them, why you're selling pens instead of going to study? Then they just told me that we don't have money. They just told indirectly, we don't have money like you. Then I got shocked. Then I asked my parents. Then I just went and I asked my father about it. And my father told that they are poor, they doesn't have money, and they don't know how to study. And okay, then before that, I went to them and I asked that, what do you want to become? They just told like, I want to become like a pen shop owner. That means they are going into the thing of business and entrepreneurship. Then I thought that why I can't educate them, because I'm young. On at age of 9, I don't know how to educate them. But then I went to the nearest orphanage, and I went to nearest schools. I thought of teaching them about what you have to do, what is the thing which you have to do on future, what is based on entrepreneurship. On that time, while teaching itself, there is a regular thing. While if you're gonna teach what you have studied, and that makes a thing to be remembering the memories of it. So that's what I did. I learned about business, and I taught them what it is. Then I know, when I teaching, I got know about what is business and what is more thing. So on that thing itself, a student suggests me that why don't you start it? And there are lots of people in Africa, and there are lots of people who doesn't get educated. So based on that, I just started this journey to go ahead. And on that thing, it came into when I just got into a TEDx talk, and I went into Josh Talks, and also I'm going. And recently on May, I'm just getting an award of Young Entrepreneur of the Year in Dubai.
Naveen, we can't hear you. I think we have lost you. Yeah. Probably you might have to reconnect back. Yeah. Naveen, we can't hear you. I think we can't hear you. Maybe you might have to rejoin. I'll just add you back. Yeah. Can you say no? We can't hear you. Yeah, rejoin. So this network issues is quite common over here. Thank you, Hasna. That was an elaborate introduction. So I think we'll just have Naveen in few minutes joining back. We are very sorry to pause in for this a little bit in the panel discussion, but I'm sure we'll just begin very shortly with it. So we request all the panelists to have a couple of minutes of patience. We also had some network glitches that were occurring right now. So thank you, everyone. I think we have Dr. Binoy also here. Sir, welcome to the panel discussion. So Dr. Binoy, as we said, is the Associate Professor at Vishweshwara Institute of Technology. And we are glad to have you over here and your expertise to add in on this industry innovation and also academia contribution towards how inputs can be really brought in a very innovative way. So I'll request Naveen to go ahead with the round of introductions and
Am I
yeah.
audible? Shreyas, yeah.
Yes, Naveen, please go ahead.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So our next panelist is Dr. Karthikeyan. He has completed his Bachelor of Engineering in CSE under Anna University, Chennai, and he has also done his Master of Engineering in PSG College of Technology under a GATE Fellowship in 2010. And he also having he's holding a PhD in cloud and big data analyst from VIT University, and currently he's about to complete his postdoctoral uh, PDF program in artificial intelligence and machine learning at Lincoln University, Malaysia. So I think he has pretty great experience from academic as well as research platform. He has served 12 plus years of industry and academic experience, and he worked in a various top NRF ranked universities like VIT University, PSG, Tech RMK Institution, Chennai, and he is also a proud alumni of PSG Tech Coimbatore and VIT University. So currently he is running a two startup, namely Life Tech India and uh, Hydrokins India Private Limited, and playing major portfolios uh, in Intelligence System Research Lab, Coursera for Campus, SSC NASCOM Academic Mentor for various um, institution. And I think he also have 10 plus Indian design and 2 product patents in IoT and machine learning areas. That's a quick introduction. I think it's again the huge achievement what Karthikeyan is holding. Right. So welcome Karthik for the panel for the day. Uh, our next panelist is yeah. Next panelist is a great supporter and national support. So Dr. Mr. Sudhanshu Mittal, who's from NASCOM, who is currently heading uh, CY Gurugram and uh, Director of Technical Solution with the NASCOM Center of Excellence in the Department of IoT and Artificial Intelligence. And having 25 years plus of a technical role in different companies like HCL, Agilite, Marvel, Freescale, Juniper, among other companies. Sir also have again extensive experience in embedded domains in different verticals like networking, storage, printing, imagining, medical equipment, IoT, security, among other platforms. So it's a great honor to have Mr. Sudhanshu sir here in a panel discussion to talk about more about industry and their expectation and the technology, the emerging new technology in the field of IoT and artificial intelligence. So welcome you, sir, for the great panel for the day.
Thank you very much.
And we have one more great young person who is my colleague, my partner, Mr. Shreyas. Welcome, Shreyas. I don't think it's required, but formally, yes, you're welcome. He was born in the year of 2000, a young guy who's a social entrepreneur and he's head of government relations and for the Asia and Africa Asian Community Coordinator, Asia Regional Director for YouthUp Global, and a youth-based community which building a platform for the social impact on 17 SDG goals. He holds a degree in Bachelor of Business Administration and specialized with the Liberal Arts and STEM Foundation from VIT University, Andhra Pradesh, and also post-graduation diploma in Anand Fellowship on Build Environment at Anand National University, Ahmedabad. Uh, he's in a board of leadership for many foundation and national and international wise. He has featured in 5-year summit, 30 under 30 Central India largest summit on entrepreneurship IIT. Indore, he has done a couple of research paper. He's a co-author of a research paper on social media and online marketing, which has published and presented in international conference Chennai, organized by National Foundation of Entrepreneurship and Development in the year 2020. And I think he holds a very strong grip with the United Nations, and he represented India in United Nations uh, a couple of years back. So welcome, Shreyas, for the panel. I think it's time to start a panel uh, discussion. Welcoming all once again for this opportunity and the panel discussion. First, I would like to have the common questionnaire. It's for all, like how can education and industry can work together to promote a diversity and inclusion in the workforce. I think Binoy sir, you can put some light on this from your experience in the perspective.
Thank you so much. Sorry for the delay in joining. It's because of some network issue. Uh, hoping that no, the network will be intact and the things will move on well. At the very outset, ellarku namaskara, warm good afternoon to all of you, and maybe to some people who have joined from abroad. Good morning to you, first, at the outset, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Naveen for inviting me and, of course, organizing this kind of a meet and giving opportunity for us to express our ideas. And Naveen, as well as the entire team, big thanks to you, and especially for asking this kind of a question in the panel discussion, and also keeping a theme as the most relevant theme, that is industry, academia, convergence, creating future together. Of course, I will start with this title itself, like industry, academia, convergence. This is a much discussed issue, and the discussions keep on going about the industry academia gap. It's a much discussed issue, and so far, to be frank with you, so far we are unable to find out a perfect solution for this industry academia gap. I think the reason why this industry academia gap is not able to be filled so far is because of this inclusiveness is lacking. I mean, exactly as per the theme, the proper convergence between the industry and academia is not happening. That is the reason, and I am sure the moment the proper convergence between this industry and academia happens effectively, then there won't be any industry academia gap. The reason is, I think this inclusiveness or joining hands together between the industry and academia is very essential for inclusive growth. I used to mention to the industry bodies always that the only thing we need to do for filling this industry academia gap is industry should come into the academia. Of course, the Visvesvaraya Technological University, under the able leadership of our Honorable Vice Chancellor Vidya Shankarji, now we have initiated many programs, many measures to fill this gap. We have we have invited the industry representatives under different domain to our board of studies. There are board of studies members are there, and we always suggest ask their suggestions to know what best can be included in the syllabus. As we all know, the problem what the academia is facing is as we know, no university in the world, it's not possible for any university to upgrade the syllabus, or in pace with the technological development. I think, I hope everybody will agree that Technology is developing on a faster scale. Maybe the very simple example is, see, once the syllabus is introduced and the classes started, in between the semester, changing the syllabus is not possible. It's not possible. It's not viable. So what the academia is expecting from the industry is, industry should pitch into the academia, and as and when the university or the educational institutions request them to give suggestions, uh, we are not getting, to be frank with you, we are not getting complete, full cooperation from the industry. Why? Because of course there are reasons. Industry is busy in making profit. What I suggest is, what is needed is, industry representatives should represent in the board of studies.
I think there is some network glitch with Binoy sir. Okay, so can we go with Karthik? So Karthik, can you just put some lights on the topic for the day? A quick one.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, Karthik, it's audible.
Yes. Yeah. So actually, the question is very quite interesting. So generally, there are several ways that universities or colleges and industries can work together. The first reason I would suggest is diversity in colleges is most important nowadays. Generally, which helps to prepare students for the diverse workforce after their graduation. So diversity in colleges, whether an autonomous institution or a university or any affiliated institution, is most important. Next, I would like to suggest any colleges can promote diversity by offering various intern scholarships and financial support to underrepresented groups. So that is a need of the hour. So there are various different categories of students who are very talented, but they are unable to study with their background, family background. So educational institutions, if supports, promotes a diversity by offering financial support or any scholarship. For example, as a KPR, we are supporting 2 crores of financial scholarships every year to underrepresented groups. So that is also another idea for all other education institution can think on. Then third, we need to connect our employees to outside resource groups, so that such young professionals, even it includes women leadership, that makes more sense. So we need to connect our employees to outside research group. We need to make sure the same leadership team reflects the diversity among the communities or not. That we have to recheck it. Then we need to bring more industry mentors to the colleges. We need to include more industry mentoring programs to the academic curriculum and the department and students, so that the more diversity can happen across the students community and so on. So that may be the right reason for the question, I guess now. Yeah.
Thanks,
So
Karthik.
yeah,
So
with respect to colleges, yeah, suppose company, so the best way to make it happen is continuous process. The company should regularly check and
Can you hear
review their policies in terms of, yeah, can you hear me?
yes, Karthik, I think I can hear
Yeah,
you.
yes. So with respect to company, generally the company should regularly check and review their policies and procedures in terms of diversity. Also, they should hire some kind of leaders who understand the importance of value. So that should promote them throughout the organization. That is another value you would like to suggest. Then third point is companies generally to make sure their employees are happy and they should feel they are in safe place. So that is another important aspect with respect to my point. Yes.
Thanks, Karthik. Sudhanshu sir, so
Yes.
we heard the challenges from academic perspective. So it's the good to hear from the challenges or opportunities from industry background, since you are connected with most of the industry. So over to you, sir. Please put us some lights on this.
See, the corporate world is recognizing and has recognized the value of diversity for some time now. And the kind of companies that I have worked in, all those names which you mentioned earlier, Agilent and Marvel and Freescale and Juniper and all. So the leadership from in all those corporates does recognize the value of diversity, and they take, I would say, what you call the affirmative action towards ensuring that they have diversity. In fact, during my interviews also, when I have gone for the campus interviews in the colleges for hiring for the particular corporate where I worked, I took those focused efforts that although uh, more often than not you cannot really compromise on the quality of the students, but then you can try to make a little bit of extra effort when you are doing going through the interview process to make sure that you put in more effort in doing the interview for the persons who come from diverse backgrounds, or perhaps we can say, like Dr. Karthikeyan said, underrepresented backgrounds. So that is one thing which corporates should do, and they actually do as well. I cannot talk about each and every company, but then as I said that as corporates themselves are realizing that having improved diversity helps their bottom line as well, they are making focused efforts and the affirmative actions in having the diversity. That doesn't mean that the problem is solved or there is nothing further to be done. I'm sure that the others who are from the sociological background or from the other backgrounds will have more thoughts about what more can be done. But the fact is, the first part which is there is the realization that this is important and it is beneficial, because unless it is also beneficial, the corporate world works on the basis of the profit. That's a basic rule, plain simple basic rule. It works on the basis of the profit, the business, and whatever we are talking about in terms of that this is what they should be doing or that is what they should be doing, uh, unless it is mapped to the fact that yes, it helps your top line and the bottom line, or at least the bottom line, it will not really get too much of traction. You can go only so much with the law, and if it starts hitting their bottom line, they will find ways to dodge it. It's a basic rule here, and there is no rocket science into this particular rule. But then, as I said, they have realized this, that it is helpful for them. Now, coming to the academic world again, and then the issue of diversity again starts becoming, because I have been from the hardcore technical background, so for me it is STEM, the diversity issue is there, because I remember doing my engineering in 1990 when I passed from the ITBHU there, and in a batch of about 300 students, there were only 8 girls. Today, the ratio is typically I see in the top colleges is of the order of about 10%. Even then, it is not really high. In the other colleges, I have seen somewhere around, at least in the STEM line, going to maybe around 15 to 20%. But then that is about the tops which is there. It doesn't really go beyond that. It's hard for me to figure out what more academic world should be doing. Perhaps it is the issue of upbringing, it is the issue of the environment which children get at the home, that whether you are suitable for this kind of rules or not, this kind of studies or not. How much academic world can do to address this gap, I'm not sure. There are certain colleges, in fact, I remember that IIT also, where they put in extra effort. They take students who are a little bit lacking and run extra classes for them. So that is one way through which academic world can ensure that those who are struggling in the first year of the college, they, uh, they go through those extra classes to help them prepare for the real grind. See, at the end of the day, the grind is going to be there. You cannot really wish away that. And that grind is the one thing which is going to prepare you for the corporate world. On the basis of the basic crutches, you can go only so far. So, uh, as I said, diversity is useful. The corporate world recognizes its value. As a result, the academics, whatever actions they take in order to improve the diversity, will get the support from the corporate world. But
Okay.
ultimately, as we see that from school to college to the corporate, each side has to do its own part, including the families, including the homes.
That's well said. Yeah. So I think yes, we do have a challenges from corporate side to get the things done to bridge the skill gap. Yeah. So uh, Shreyas, your thoughts on um, bringing the campus and the corporate together, not just on a national level, on an international level, how we can have the big collaboration and converges with the diversification and their thoughts exchange between different diversities can help us.
I think, Naveen, what we are here is that we have been hearing from experts, like, we had people from here, not just from the industry and academia side of it, but either ways, all these experts like Sudhanshu sir, then Hasna, and, we talk about Karthikeyan sir, then Dr. Binoy, everyone are well versed towards the innovation side of it. And we're all on this terminology, which is innovation as one of the main focus. And just to add in a little bit, what we are trying to really achieve through this panel discussion is that we're trying to bring in a greater international connect as well, right? Because ideally what happens is that nationally we are having a lot of hackathons programs about such, certified programs that needs to be brought at a earlier level for the freshers in universities. But what about, bringing about academia and technology conferences together? Because this is quite rare in terms of student exchange programs. Right after the national education policy was being implemented, today we have the gift city which is coming up in Gandhinagar. I hear that there's a very top university known as Gaken University from Australia, and they are setting up one of their international corridors over here. It's not just about them, but I think multiple people from different side of it, from the infra management, or say, in terms of technology, medical, or the management background of it as well. And I think the common unity that falls over here is that we need to have more of roundtable discussions, bring in a very uniform way of having faculty and students, faculty from different countries and students from different countries interacting with each other. And I think the idea that we would be able to create the greater synergy over here is that one is in terms of student initiatives, driven initiatives and startups, a lot of incubation programs are being set up and students are coming with early stage startups as well. And I think this industry programs will surely help them out in the technical field on, the know-how of to go about. And the academia side of it, what we would be able to understand is the peer academic learning. How does it go about in terms of, what are the expectations that students are receiving from the professors? Because we have, one is the academics is being a very holistic design purpose. It is set up on the curriculum. It talks about, the conceptualization of the theoretical knowledge and all of these, but the methodology of which, is where we can set it up, and that's through, these continuous discussions that need to take place. Saying that I'm representing one of the international corridors of here, I'm here to also talk about, in the panel discussion today about what we have been doing through YouthUp Global as well. This Asia and African relationship. Ideally, we have one of our think tanks, and also we have our edutech company, which is known as UTDIA. We are one of the largest skill developing platforms where we are set up on the SDG 8 and SDG 17, where we're trying to bring in decent economic growth and also towards cross culture technology as well. What is really happening is that we are trying to invest our time in terms of different countries also supporting on this program. So we're having trainers from US and then UK and all of these countries for young professionals to register with us. So we also have Hasna over here. We have one of the panelists, and we are coming to know today in this panel what is the concept of what is a teenpreneur. right? I think before this, it is a very new thing to hear about it. And at Tirunelveli, how she's running a startup of her own, contributing in events along with us is a very, interesting point to look at, that how child prodigies like her have started already, doing greater things. And this is the sustainability ecosystem we are creating. In fact, let me also acknowledge some people over here. Dr. Hasna has been, recognized by the governor of Tamil Nadu as well for achievements. I think, the government really does not show in terms of what their achievements they want to recognize such child prodigies, but they want to also bring in such future faces of a country in terms of what they can do and how the startups can be of great value of support to us. And I think we have also witnessed in this inauguration ceremony today through Gatoni as well, in terms of where we have initiated, forthcoming to this panel discussion, a South Asia and East Africa, regional, partnership already. And I think this was a greater way to start off, which is that we are calling it formally in terms of what we want to go about in terms of youth advocacy and skill development. So this is a little bit of insights what I wanted to add in, but I guess what would really bring in the biggest limelight for the panel is through what we are trying to achieve over here, right? What is the next steps that we are going to take it forward in terms of industry academia convergence? We talk about diversity on one side and inclusion other side. So how diversity and inclusion, when it comes, all together, what are we trying to achieve and what are we trying to bring about? Because I heard this from the sustainable development goals. All our institutions have been following it at greater levels, and we have been using bigger posters and hackathons to bring the outreach of it towards it. But ideally, are we trying to tap into one SDG and achieve over it is the most important thing. So through this event, we shall try to also bring in something in terms of an end result or an end product, in terms of how each and every panelist over here, from the industry and academia side, can support us for this training programs and how they can take it at their own capacities. I'm sure this is not a very, a rocket science to go forward, because it's just about some collaborations and a little bit of, in terms of what we are trying to achieve together and our common goals that are being set in path. So this would be my opening remarks for what I wanted to, bring in as an introductory purpose. Thank you.
Thanks, Shreyas. Since Binoy sir is here, sir, one quick ask with you is, um, you know, what is the role of technology in bringing education and industry partnership over here, and how can a technology can be leveraged to enhance the workforce development?
There is no doubt about it. Technology is everything, but bringing the technology into the campus is the challenge what we are facing. And for that, that is the reason why see, I mentioned a few points. I mentioned the bringing the technology, because actually, see, for example, actually what is happening in the industry, most of the cases, we are not able to explain to the students. See, being a teacher, see, I'm ready to accept that. See, I am not updated as what is happening in the industry. So that is the reason why my request is these teachers also should be allowed to do internship in the industry. Let the teacher also knows that, see, unless otherwise, see, the teacher knows what are the technologies used by the industry, how it is used. If the teacher is not aware, teacher may be a teacher who is teaching the student for the last 20 years or 25 years may not be updated about what are the latest technology the industries are using, or what the industry is expecting from the students. So that is the reason why it is very much required that the teachers also should get should do internship. Maybe in a week's time, in a year or so, if the industries give an opportunity for the teachers, then definitely they will be in a better position to teach that latest technology to the students. And as I was saying that the problem with the syllabus, it's not possible to update everything. But if a teacher teaches anything beyond the syllabus, teacher knows what the industry is expecting. If a teacher teaches that, the students won't accept it. Why? Because they will think that it is not there in the syllabus, it won't come in the examination. So this is the kind of attitude of the students. So that is the reason why industry, that is why I said in the beginning, industry should come into the campus, and also I would like to mention that industry has their own limitations, time limitations. All these are there. So there comes the importance of training companies like you. You can pitch into to the academy, and you should give them training what is what the industry is expecting. So that is the reason why we always suggest, the university always suggests there should be an industry hub should be established in each and every college. Industry hub, that means the aim of industry hub is to have frequent industry academia interactions should happen. Then see, if we as teachers, if we explain to the students, sometimes they won't accept it, but if the people from industry come, and or the proper trainer come and tell them that this is what what the industry is expecting from you, then definitely the students will try to acquire that knowledge, and then to a certain extent will be able to minimize the industry academia gap.
Thank you, sir. So since you pitched in, about the technical startups, I think even Karthikeyan also have some kind of challenges while coming up with his startup, right? So Karthik, can you just brief or give some limelight? What are the expectations from edutech companies, like as Binoy sir mentioned? So companies cannot directly come to a campus because of their limitation and the challenges. So as a the byproduct of the IT companies, we have edutech companies who plays the mid role between the campus and the corporate. So what is the expectation from edutech companies from a campus in terms of developing the technical quality among the students and bring the success story?
Yeah, so it is one of the most interesting question, Naveen. Actually, our success story is we are the one of the first premier autonomous institution in South India. So to integrate UN SDG Innovation Innovathan framework and Industry 4.0 framework in our curriculum, with the collaboration of all the edutech partners like major giants like Coursera for campus and L&T EduTech and NASCOM Future Skills, Zebia and Intel. So we have this 5 major giants edutech partners with us. So generally what we do, the most expectation from the edutech partner is we are looking for innovative solutions that always help students to learn better and achieve their goals, right? So we have a couple of experience. First one is the edutech should provide the personalized learning experience, which we already we have adopted Coursera for campus. The recent last 1.5 year, we are purchased Coursera for campuses license, almost 1,000 license. Within the 6 months, I could see some numerous changes with the students community. Almost 8,000 enrollments, out of which 3,500 courses we were completed in a short span of 4 to 5 months. So that is one of the major change in the students community. Students are looking for digital learning and lifelong learning. So the edutech partner should provide such kind of lifelong experience, lifelong learning experience. That is the one point. The second one, the edutech company should promote skilling and innovation. So for example, they should conduct more competition, hackathon, codeathon. It is happening nowadays, but we need a more. So only the base service level companies are doing such levels of competitions. So we are looking for edutech companies to conduct or promote skilling and innovation frameworks. For example, recently for the past 11 years, we are associated with the NASCOM Future Skills. Recently we have completed 3,200 certification within 30 days. So that is, I am one of the where Sudhanshu sir is here. I am one of the Future Skills Prime Ambassador. Recently, we did a success meet in our campus where NASCOM CEO Kirti Seth was she played the major role in the success story meet. Meaning, students are ready for the digital skilling, digital learning. The traditional teaching learning process is gone. So now as a KPR is concerned, we are only 60-40, 60% a classroom training, 40% is completely edutech courses. students, they can complete their courses, they can drop their 1 credit, 2 credit if they complete 45 hours in NASCOM or Coursera or Intel or L&T EduTech courses. Almost we introduced L&T Museum at KPR with the investment of 7 crores. So anyone can come and see what is engineering is all about, what is electrical, what is mechanical, mechatronic. We constructed such an amazing museum at KPR in order to train them in digital. Also, the Tamil Nadu government has introduced TNSDC, Tamil Nadu Skill Development Corporation, in order to skill their students in project-based learning and outcome-based learning. The third point I would like to comment here is the learner should have a flexibility at all the times, meaning that digital learners should provide a digital learning platform should provide a flexibility to have or flexibility to choose what they want. So such platform we are looking for, because the learning and adaptability is need of that. Also, I request all the educational institution to integrate majority of the edutech courses into our curriculum. Binay sir, Matthew sir rightly pointed out, we are looking for internship for the faculty. So this practice we started 3 years before. So during the vacation time, we are asking faculty to go for internship. So they used to visit IIT, IISc, one academic industry visit and one industry visit. So every faculty will go for industry internship along with the students. So students will be trained in some other way, faculty will be trained in some other way. So these are such practice we are doing. Now we are asking, if suppose you are unable to go, you can do internship in Coursera. Coursera is providing various industry internship by Google, SAP Labs kind of things, Amazon internship, or there are some projects are readily available in Coursera. So we are making like it is a industry equivalent courses. Suppose if I placed in a company, I can get an internship along with the offer. I may go for internship come along with the offer, but few students, they may not get such opportunities. So we are requesting them to choose internship in a Coursera. So then faculty also doing the same. We are completing 40 hours, 45 hours of internship with the Coursera. So now, few educational institutions started moving towards this edutech partners and started integrating such courses. We are looking for the same from the other institutions. If we integrate, then obviously the teaching learning process will improve. Then we can see good amount of success in the student's life. So because at the end, everything is outcome based. So the learning is completely outcome. So outcome is very important. So if you adopt such edutech courses into our curriculum, we can see some major success stories in students' life. Yes.
Thanks, Karthikeyan. I think it's great information what KPR has.
Also, another point I want to mention is each course should be integrated with or collaborated with one industry. Suppose I am heading AIML department as HOD. So I integrated with Intel Corporation. They are the giant in the hardware manufacturing, and they are nowadays completely working on AIs. So Intel started Intel Unnati program, so completely for AI and ML. So they started AI Academy. So I integrated Intel into my curriculum. So industry will be coming to the college for every semester to teach the main core subjects. So for example, in KPR, Intel is coming every semester. They'll be teaching a one subject. First semester C, C++, second semester Python, third semester AI, fourth semester ML, and deep learning, so on. So students will be trained continuously up to 6th semester. 7th semester, they'll be attending their industry internship, then followed by placements. So such adoption will always bring major changes in the students' life, I hope. Because students will be writing exams in the end of every semester by the Intel. Then the industry is giving a real-time project. They are engaging the students continuously in the entire semester. So when you attend a placement during 6th sem or 7th sem, students will be having sufficient number of training, and they'll be having sufficient number of certification, digital certifications. So then they'll have a set of confidence to attend internships. So this is what we are doing a practice in KPR generally. Yes.
Nice, Karthik. I think this is the similar ideology of a skill incubation center what 3Q is setting up. So training the students from the first semester itself and making them industry ready by the time they come to a seventh or eighth semester. That is the basic ideology, and the certificates what we have introduced today, I think that is also the similar kind, making them a networking and or infrastructure management service expert to the industry by the time of seventh or eighth semester, and
Yes. At the same time,
making,
we
yeah,
don't
yeah,
want multiple certification. We want to make them specialized in one course. They can do
exactly,
10 certification in one specialization. That is always works more instead of doing 10
correct.
different certifications.
So
So
just
that's
to
what
add in
we,
very
yep,
quickly to
yep.
what Dr. Karthikeyan mentioned, today's industry, when we're talking about technology, focusing on the social sector, where I come from the development practitioner side of it, here we are looking for people to hire, not in terms of who are good into project management or monitoring evaluation specialists, but we're looking for subject experts. And I think what KPR is trying to shape a student into being a subject expert will help startups who are in need of it. Because see, when we talk about the management side of it today in the government, when we have to look at, we need in the Ministry of Education, or say in the United Nations, you need economics as one of the important subject to go about, because public policy and economics is a interlinked subject to go about. Now when we talk about, Dr. Karthikeyan had mentioned, now just imagine if tech policy can also be brought about, tech and public policy. So students need to know the importance of public policy as a domain as well. I think that will help them to understand in terms of government initiatives as well, and in terms of how they need to take the startups forward on their own, so they don't need always the academic guidance to fall in. Because it is a era where we are looking at that, when we are saying that students are emerging startups coming up with brilliant examples of here, good practices that are being seen, then I think it's one step ahead, where we have to try to see how students are trying to have communication. We call this as cross culture exchange programs and communication programs within the universities that are being brought about. So this is one way of conceptualizing what we are trying to go about with greater institutions.
Good, Trace. I think we should hear something from Hasana as well. Uh,
Yes.
Hasana, can you just put some light on what is the Teen Visor is all about? The quick one, and what are the initiatives you guys are coming up?
Oh, okay. So actually, to say like Teenwiser is going to be like a world's first platform for ambitious teenagers, not only teenagers from universities where if they are interested, this is something like what could I say? We are helping students to take the first step for them in the professional side. So, for example, the thing which I'm doing, my goal is to make the younger students to be younger CEOs. So that's what my goal is. So my goal and Teenwiser goal are morely the same. That if a students need any help to make a startup or anything. For example, if there is a student who want to become, who has interest on robotics, for example, and he wants to be an innovator, we'll be helping them from giving, starting from giving to materials and till the mentorship. So something like that. That's what we are doing. And my initiatives are, we wanted to make the students to get ready for the next generation. Like, because most of the students need to be getting ready for the next battle. Whatever it comes, we have to be ready as a next generation. So that's what we are doing.
That's great, um, Hasana. So one last question to Sudhanshu sir. Um, Sir, like what is the current challenges that the industries are facing in terms of finding the skilled uh, employees, especially in terms of a fresher I'm talking about, and how can the certification, I mean the professional certification, can address this challenge?
Yeah, as far as the challenge about industry having difficulty in finding the skilled human resource, especially at the fresher level, is concerned, there is nothing to talk about. It has been talked about a lot in the media, in the social media and print media, and many conferences, and they said that everywhere. So the fact is that yes, it is there. Now, how to address this is a problem. which continues to be a problem, unfortunately, because we haven't been able to work out the meaningful formula yet. And there are challenges from both the sides. As far as the industry is concerned, they say that how much I have to invest in doing the skilling of the freshers or the students who are coming out from the academic. And academics say that, like Dr. Binoy very clearly stated, that limitation that they have, that they cannot just keep on changing their course curriculum regularly. The technology keeps changing. Dr. Binoy, I agree partially with that. Although your other idea about the internship for the faculty is really fantastic idea, and I would say that that is something which should be pushed. But then the push will be required primarily from the academic side. The faculty has to be pushed from the academic side because they are the only one who can do the pushing. As far as the industry is concerned, they can facilitate that, but then faculty has to be willing to do that. And that is where actually I have seen some of the challenges coming in the past, the willingness from that side. So coming to the specific point about this, as I said, the challenges are there, the solutions. So the specific your question about the certification, the professional certification is definitely something useful, which helps in bridging the gap, or skill gap between the from the students who are coming out of the academic, and then what industry expects. So they definitely do that. But then there is another piece of problem with that. The online courses, like various online courses which are there, and I do not want to go into naming anything or anybody into that. They do provide a very valuable and the scalable means to provide the skill to the students, but then the effectiveness of pure online course is also limited. There needs to be some kind of offline component also in that, where the students are required to work with some faculty or somebody. It may again be, let's say that the 75% is online, similar to what you call the theoretical classes, but then there need to be some part offline where students are working under the guidance of a instructor, who may be the faculty, or it may be somebody from the industry or somebody, because otherwise pure online course becomes just that, and with the targeted objective of just completing the course, getting the credits, and moving on from there. The learning part starts becoming limited there, and this is something which many of the colleges are recognizing, and they are also getting into seeing as to how to augment the offline skilling part. So online has its own very important use. It cannot be replaced. As I said, it provides easy access, ready access for large number of students, and very easily scalable. So that is definitely there, but then it still does not work 100%. And in order to take it to that level, the offline component is also necessary. That is something that I have learned from talking to various colleges as part of our Academia Connect program. And the other part is the mentorship from the industry. It is there, already there, but then as of now it is largely at the level of individuals interest. uh, the industry can make an attempt to push their people a little bit more, like I said, that faculty being pushed to take up the internship, industry also pushing a little bit more of their people to go and do the mentorship at the academic institutes. But then, having said this, there is again a piece of problem with that, and I will tell you this from my first hand experience. That because I am part of the mentorship group of my own college at ITBHU, and the problem there is again that, do the students really understand the importance of mentorship there? Most of the time, I see that they do not. They simply see this as something which college is pushing upon them. So fine, I go and register, then I attend one meeting called by the mentor, and then yes, I'm done. So let's close the chapter there. They do not understand its importance, and how to benefit from them. And I'm not really blaming the students for it. At the level which they are, they have very limited view of the real life and the importance of the knowledge which comes from the real life practitioners. They have very limited view. And but then how to again bridge that particular gap, I do not have any good answer. Perhaps again some kind of uh, theoretical understanding. I don't really know, because it's like taking horse to the water, but then how do you make the horse drink the water? So you cannot really do that. At that point, the horse has to be willing to take the water. So these are the challenges. As I said, there is nothing 100%. We don't have any 100% formula ready as yet. But then professional courses, they do help. Industry has a problem. There are ideas, some good ideas, as I heard that Dr. Binoy's idea about the internship for the faculty, the push from additional potential push from the industry to their at least the senior level staff, that you have to spend this much of time in the mentorship, only then as part of your deliverables. And then, of course, online study part being augmented with the offline part through the faculty only. A large part of that will have to be done by the faculty. There is no real alternative because it's the faculty which has the actual connect with the students. So these are some of the things which are there. Apart from that, depending upon the kind of flexibility that the academic institutes have, they can do more guest lectures by the industries. So they do that. Academic institutes do arrange for such guest lectures. There can be more, but then possibly targeted in a manner at the students who are actually interested, and not necessarily force everybody to go and attend that. I don't know what will work better. Whether you search for those who are willing to do that and keep it limited to those, or push everybody to attend that, so that even if many of them, even if they attend unwillingly, they may get converted that yes, it is something useful at the end of the lecture. I really don't know. No good answer to this. You have to try various things and then see as to which ones deliver the right results.
Thank you, Sudhanshu sir.
Yeah,
I think
to support Sudhanshu sir point, recently UGC announced educational institutions can bring a professor of practice. So the industrialists those who are having a 15 plus years of experience from industry, we can call them as a professor of practice for the college. We can nominate. We can
Yes, I'm
nominate them.
aware of it. I'm aware
Yes,
of it.
yes,
But then I
yes.
have one question here. That is there any education qualification limitation into inviting the professor of
Yes,
practice?
yes. Of course, sir.
What is that? They should be at least masters, right? Something like
Yeah,
that.
they should have a masters with 15 plus years of only industry experience.
Yeah,
So because
understood. But then there will be
yes,
a whole lot of those who have not done the masters. They have done just the
yes,
bachelors, and then they
yes,
have the a
yes.
whole lot of technical expertise into their own area. So they will not be
They have
qualified
minimum
for this.
constraint, yes, sir.
Yes.
so challenges everywhere.
Yes.
Again, the opportunities everywhere. So, so with that, I think we are already running out of time for 11 minutes to conclude the, the today's panel discussion. I think it's a kind of the learning and also finding a challenge, knowing challenge, but still finding the better solution out of it. Yeah, it's a good the interaction with all the expertise uh, fellows here. um, so just to conclude the panel discussion, yes, there is a the bridge, there is a challenges, there is a gap. So now how to build the bridge is the research still going on. I think we need lot many the opportunities and the research has to come forward to bridge the skill gap between campus and the corporate. That is still, I think, it's going to be ongoing problem um, for a very long time. But yes, as Vinay sir and Sudhanshu and Karthik has mentioned over here, so we do have other uh, opportunities to minimize the gap where we can have a good collaboration and the bringing the expertise together. Yes, that's continual effort will be ongoing in terms of providing an internship, providing the innovative kind of events like a hackathon, uh, to the students to to give them a lights upon what's happening in the industry and guest lecturing. And as Karthika said, yes, now we will going to have the professor from corporate industry. That's one more great thing what we are having. So It's a good panel discussion with all the dignitaries here. I think so. We should uh, wind up in terms of everybody's time and the schedule. It's already 14 minutes. We are already crossed, but still, it's a very fruitful discussion. Um, so, Shreyas, over to you for the thank note.
Sure. Sure. Thank you, Naveen. So I would completely agree with you. We might be 14 minutes late, but this 14 minutes more might have added in terms of what is the next set of solutions we all have started. The gamification is already begun, and it's the point is that
Exactly.
these type of panel discussions shouldn't be very formalized. I think it should be a very monotonous way of going about that. We are coming together having such continuous meetings. This is one way of broadcasting to our friends who are joining us online to know about the importance behind it. So I think what really is important that we have come to, what is my understanding and analysis over here, is that we have all the technology over here, we have the know-hows, we have center of excellences being established at various universities. But now what really matters is not in terms of how the infrastructure only is there, but in terms of what is the strategy and vision that is being framed towards. We all come from organization of setting vision and mission, but how much vision and mission are we trying to achieve is where we are kind of very much bridged away. So to fit into that inclusion and to understand in terms of how we can try to achieve it together is the whole point. Now the whole concept of this bringing this courses, I mean the programs, the certified programs, could be achieved by introducing educational institutions and going in a very traditional way forward. But why are we bringing this pre-analysis panel discussion? I think all the panelists need to be aware that we are trying to take your inputs in forward in terms of designing these programs, right? Because it is not in terms of just designing, but in terms of the next set of implementation, in terms of which capacities we can take it. So we have been hearing from the academic side of it from Dr. Karthikeyan and Dr. Binoy in terms of how it really works on that perspective. So we have got a greater glance over this side. Mr. Sudhanshu from NASCOM has been, adding over the importance of what industry and industry expectations and programs are being brought about. We have Hasna over here, and Hasna is set up a startup of her own, which is, today run on a financial basis. A 15-year-old setting up, a startup and shaping it towards a better world is something where she says that she wants to guide, future youngsters to become, the future CEOs of our country. And these courses can really help these youngsters as well. We are not just trying to be very particular to one specific age group as well, but further down the line this can also be kind of very much beneficiary in terms of how we take it forward. The panel discussion may have concluded upon certain technical aspects over here, but I think what is really important is that we'll have to do a post analysis as well. Once we finish this program and we create a quarter of introductory launch towards this and its impact, we need to meet again. And I think I would request all the panelists to to agree with me that we will be able to assess together in terms of how much have we evaluated, in terms of what we conceptualized and what have we tried to achieve. And when we try to today assess these kind of reports in a greater way, then it is something which we are trying to create the impact circle of it as well. Before we just go ahead, we have Dr. Tanuja also. She's from the International Women Technology Research Forum. Thank you for joining us, ma'am. I've seen you. You have been here in the studio since a long time. Yes, of course, through Madam, we are trying to achieve this particular SDG of SDG 5, which is gender equality and the inclusion in it. So, Madam, I would request you to speak a few words about what IWTRF based out of Bangalore is working upon. I think you are muted.
She's on.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm audible?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Please go.
No, basically, this women forum, what we are presenting today, this is only the women engineers and the innovators, entrepreneur, and the researcher can share their ideas. Basically, eventually, the technology towards the societies we are taking it to. Basically, the main agenda of our this is first one, the peer networking, then enhancement of the technology, and again, what we are the mentoring program from all the entrepreneurs. These are the three agenda we are setting it. So fundraising is also there for the mentoring program. This is the one science and technology forum we are presenting today.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I'm very sure
I'm
IWTRF
very
will be.
thankful for the giving an opportunity for the Naveen especially and the Shreyas. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, ma'am. We are very
Thank you.
sure that you'll be one of our contributing partners in achieving towards, every sector where every girl needs to have an opportunity towards the tech sector as well,
Yes,
as we are
definitely,
designing
definitely.
a future techie, world. Is that I think equality and sensitization has already come into real consciousness for all of us in different
Yeah,
pathways.
sure, sure.
So, thank you. Thanks to all our panelists. I think coming on a Saturday morning and then staying 17 more minutes late
Yes, yes.
probably is not very much easy, but we would like to thank you for brainstorming with us. We would call this probably a brainstorm session in terms of what is the next set of things we are going to go forward. And Naveen, I'm sure that we will be engaging with each and every one of you in the panel discussion because we are being very
Exactly.
open to this that we would love your support to come into different capacities for this program to be launched in India in a very much holistic forthcoming forward. So yeah, thank you so much. Thank you everyone. Naveen, would
Thank
you
you.
like to add in the closing remarks, a quick closing remarks,
Uh,
and then go ahead?
Yeah, I think you already added, but add on to that, yes, this is not just an end, but I think this is the start to have a good collaboration and the supporting each other platform. That is what we need, but ultimately the end result is the success stories what we need to achieve from the young and the youths of the nation and the international youths. So that is what we are expecting. So let's work together. Let's join
Thank you.
together
Thank you all.
for the upcoming the success stories of us.
Sure. Thank you
So
everyone.
thank you
Thank you.
everyone for your time, your in spite of your busy schedules, giving your time with us. It's a great honor with to have a good interaction with you all. So thank you once again. We will have a great discussion in upcoming events and upcoming days. Thank
Thank
you
you.
all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you everyone. Have a
Thank
great
you
day.
very much.
Thank you, sir.